Welcome to the UDP Broadcast, a podcast where a group of gamers talk about gaming-related stuff and offer somewhat informed and uninformed opinions. I'm Luminary, and I'm joined today by my co-hosts, Imi, the Eternal Barcode.
Hello.
The Nordic Cajun.
Mine's but I'm the Nordic Cajun, yes.
And from the Emerald Dream, Crit Chicken.
Squawk.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Awesome. All right, today we'll be talking about what's going on with Unity, NFTs in the scope of Gamestop, and scene changes. And we'll talk about an interesting...
I was waiting for the moment to jump in, but you got it.
An interesting...
Starting, folks.
Hey, there we go.
And an interesting, fun new esports that everybody should know about.
No.
Out of all of that, I giggled so hard reading that damn article. Ugh.
God, that made me cry inside and die inside as well.
Well,
Jeebus.
we'll get with that. So stick around and enjoy the show. Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba. So Unity. Let's talk about Unity for a second. It's been in the news several times this week, along with some other articles that have been surrounding it. Unity, to start off with, came out with a announcement that they're partnering with a Chinese company. Let me get that information real quick. I had it in my head and it escaped. Don't you hate that?
Yeah, they're joining with Reuters was saying they were joining up with Alibaba Group, China Mobile, OPPO, whatever that is, Dance Bytes, Douyin Group. I don't know if that's how you say that. PCI Technology Group and Gbits Network Technology. Xiamen Co. Limited. It's a huge joint venture, and they released a statement on their official WeChat account, and WeChat is kind of like Twitter, but the Chinese version. So yeah, they have a joint venture in China, and it doesn't involve Tencent, which is surprising to me.
Shifty eyes.
Something with technology that Tencent doesn't have his dick in, that's definitely definitely a shock to me.
I know, because like Tencent is usually involved in everything to do with tech when it comes to breaking into the Chinese market. Like normally they are the go-to, so that's kind of interesting that they're not involved. It's probably because they're too busy molesting Ubisoft.
Probably so. That's their main go-to at the moment. Their eyes on the prize situation. So that's maybe how Unity got to slide in the DMs real quick in China.
Yeah, pretty much.
No.
Of course, if I was any of those companies with as strict as everything comes down and the availability to even release games in that country, because it is limited.
Yes.
I'd look to get out of there as well.
Yeah,
Like,
we talked about that last week. Like, at this point, you literally can only make a game based off of Imi's character, and you'll be able to be okay with all restrictions. You don't have to worry about sex or horror or religion. You just barcode, and you got a game.
Yeah, but you got to make sure the barcode doesn't say anything bad, like.
Oh, then we're fucked. Never mind. Game over. Back it up, kids.
I mean, that's also covered too because the barcode with those barcode noises are pretty much censored.
That's true.
Fair.
There you
There's
go.
the workaround.
Look at the degree of censorship on my barcode. Every one of those bars is censorship.
The question is what is it censoring?
We don't
Nothing.
talk about that.
We ain't got enough time tonight for that one.
That's all right. Crit can probably Photoshop something. Who knows? So
Don't tempt me, sir. I will do it.
Do it. Well, no, you've
I'll be a
already.
shake weight.
Oh, I'm broken.
No.
And that's just with one hand. Funny, the shake weight with one hand. They're doing this with China, and then with the other hand, they're yanking on the defensive department of the U.S. Army as well.
Yeah, what the hell's with that? Like,
Well, Reading
It's
up on
like
these articles, starting with China, they're looking to actually bring their engine to China, which is fine. They have to have a foothold in there because I don't think Unity is a Chinese company, and
no.
I'm
No.
sure every Chinese company that does all of that porting and handling, because you have to be a Chinese citizen in order to open a business in China. And it was even saying that they will retain some control in China, which kind of worries me. Which leads us into what Nordic was talking about. There is another announcement from Unity. In fact, it was in their financial report, which was in those articles, where they're partnering with, what was it? I don't know how to pronounce this. It's an acronym, CACI. It looks like cocky. So,
Cocky.
yeah, we can call it cocky.
CACI. Just
Yeah,
go with that.
it's just
That cocky
CACI.
sounds better.
Or we can call it
Jesus
we can
Christ.
call it saucy. I mean, I guess it really just depends. GIF, GIF, who knows, right?
Yeah.
Check, please. I'm out.
So now we've got this whole thing because we've got this partnership with China, which isn't unusual for a business, and I understand where that's going. But they're also talking about military development, and there's a whole lot of internal things going on within Unity's employment circle, having to deal with that some folks just didn't know they were actually developing technology that would be applied to military purposes. So,
Yeah, it's kind of interesting when you hide that from your employees and you're very vague about it. As soon as they find out, a lot of them get really pissed off, and I think that would make a good topic for future show because Unity isn't the only one that's had that issue where employees have been super pissed off with their technology that they're developing being used for military use. I mean, look at Alphabet's Google for their AI. As soon as people found out that it was going to be doing some Defense Department work in the U.S., they were like, "No." And Microsoft had the same issue. Although Microsoft did sign some contracts not too long ago for AI development for the U.S. military.
yeah, I remember that. That came across what? That was, what they call it? I forgot what they called it. I guess it doesn't really matter, but that was like 5, 6, 7 years ago or something like that, wasn't it?
I think it was like 2018, so like 4 years ago, maybe.
Okay, close enough.
Maybe 2017. I don't know. Everything has just melded together. It's still like I don't care, like 2006,
I don't know. I think
2007 for my brain.
well, with the introduction of Trump, the unusual and strange and incredulous all just became one and became numb. So it's hard to tell sometimes.
You brought up the Cheeto.
I said the T word.
You got to give Unity credit where credit's due. They started as a little teeny company that lets people make their own indie games for a living.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, literally, as we would call it, making it. Like
Yep.
$6 billion from the U.S. government, $20 billion evaluation with that, and then however much they're getting from China. These boys, like, you might be sitting between the two biggest dickheads in the world, but you're making money off of them.
Well, hold
It's
on.
great.
Let's see.
Well,
They
what's
actually have
really-
numbers.
At least they chose a decent name for a company, Unity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What I think is really interesting is at the bottom of the game developer article about them working with the U.S. Department of Defense is this all comes days after the marketing company AppLovin proposed a merger with Unity at a valuation of $20 billion. So that'll be interesting to see if that goes through as well, because that's going to increase Unity's cash like on hand. So imagine what they can start developing, because one thing about Unity, as much as I may or may not like the game structure, they make a very easy to use engine.
Mm-hmm.
And I will give them credit for that. Like, if you want to get into game development, Unity is a great way to get in. It's pretty cheap for the licensing, and it's very easy to develop.
Yeah,
There's not a lot of a learning curve.
It's right there with Unreal. It's a really user-friendly setup.
I think both of them actually use a C# like interface, which is interesting. But that's far too technical for this show.
Tell it to me like I'm 5, Lumi. Come on now.
Well, it's not music. So
There you go.
Right.
So
Oh, no.
following that rabbit hole with AppLovin, so there was a stipulation in that particular acquisition that when AppLovin presented that, and that was the fact they had to drop Iron Source. Because, July 14th, there was an acquisition of Iron Source. I think that was what it was called. Hold on.
Yeah, they looked like Unity was proposing to merge with Iron Source and then didn't. which kind of made some people a little cranky.
Well,
I mean,
did they back out? Because I know because that was where the origin of the fucking idiots comment came from the CEO. Is he could be?
remember.
Well,
I'm trying to find it frantically.
well, there's a lot of controversy surrounding Iron Source, not Iron Horse. Iron Horse is a staffing agency. Iron Source is a application distribution platform and installer. So what makes that interesting is that they've absorbed this company, or they've acquired it, and it is an Israel-based company, and it is known for packaging adware in with its installers.
Oh, right.
Burn it with fire.
So
Yeah.
And if you read what was for AppLovin's acquisition, wanting to be partner,
All I heard was McLovin. That's all I heard you say just now.
McLovin, absolutely. But yeah, no, AppLovin. If the idea was they need to drop all of Iron Source. That's it. Like, we'll do it. We'll give you a great deal, but yeah, you need to get rid of these folks, and we'll do all of your distribution, and monetization, and everything else.
Yeah, they drove their revenue via installers, and yeah. You ever install something that's got like a little another install window that says, "Hey, you can install this," and they make a very, very tiny, small square box to uncheck the "Please install this" bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Adobe was great with that with McAfee.
Oh, fuck Adobe. I'm sorry, as someone who has to support their bullshit for a day job, god damn that company.
Agreed.
It's so trash. Like, I have nothing good to say about them, and we'll leave it at that because I have about 2 years worth of emails back and forth trying to fix one issue with them.
And it still works.
gross.
Still not working.
Exactly. I mean, granted, some of the stuff we don't need to be using anymore, but we have dinosaurs in my company that don't want to adapt and change platforms. But Jeebus.
Oh,
Why Adobe? Why?
I mean, it's not Adobe per se, but I used to work with people. They didn't want to upgrade. They were still using Windows Server 2000
Oh,
as
good lord.
their main hub for all of their networking within the system. I was like, I don't want to work here anymore. Y'all gonna blow
Oh
up,
my
and
God.
it's gonna look like it's my fault.
Now, Windows 2000 was a great piece of software, considering it came on the heels of ME.
we don't talk about that OS.
No, we don't talk about it.
We will also ignore the fact that I have the install CD in a closet in a box, along with like Microsoft Word 4.0 on floppy disk. 3.5-inch floppy disk. I got 40 disks.
There you go.
Hell yes.
The barcode is an archivist. Awesome.
Yeah, unfortunately.
But yeah,
As I stare at hard drives on my desk.
But yeah, as far as Unity is concerned, all kinds of stuff. I mean, this week alone with the China announcement, and in fact, if I look at the financials report, we're talking about. Let's see here for net cash used. Oh, wait, that's not it. Hold on. I had this here, and whenever you tab out of stuff, it like puts it to sleep and it moves everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Let's see here. Dollar suspension, so forth and so on. You know what? Screw it. It doesn't matter.
Which was not that important anyway.
Well, no, I mean, this whole I hate reading financial reports because it's pretty much the company stroking his cock going, so, let me tell you about how much money I made. So imagine the scene from South Park where the cable guys are rubbing their nipples as you tell them that your cable's broken. That's what this feels like.
I mean, you're not entirely wrong. Like, yeah. I have to read shareholder statements every now and then. It's like, oh, could you just use smaller words?
Great. All I can actually picture is the BP guy saying, "We're sorry. We're sorry."
Oh, no.
Yeah, here
Except
we
it's
go.
a dude with a top hat and a monocle reading a financial statement now.
Here we go. Unity announces intent to merge with Iron Source. And it's all in this business report. There's the Unity partners with Kaki or SACI or whatever you want to call it. CACI International. Oh, it's a double I. So is it say Sai? Anyway,
Wow.
so there's a 3-year, multi-million-dollar contract with the government, and they got a lot of stuff here. Unity announces partnership with Microsoft, Cap Gemini. If you've ever worked retail, you should know what Cap Gemini is. Those are the
Nope.
Those are the in-store hand scanners.
Oh.
Beep boop, beep boop.
Yeah, for like ordering and all kinds of other stuff.
The one that blinds on me.
Shh.
But-
They're actually announcing Unity Game Services, which is going to be a centralized, it's going to give creators like a single dashboard with centralized data and an SDK designed for interoperability for multiple different platforms. So that should be interesting.
Yeah,
But they're just going everywhere.
and that's what makes it great. I'm really curious what it is they're developing for the government. And because they're not, I mean, okay, so you can take you can go get Unity right now. You can program it with it. It's fully functional. You can do whatever you want with it. But what specifically, and it's like AI and simulation stuff. And I'm like, why? I mean, I know that they're partnering with them. And what's interesting is they've told their employees that it's not to be used in harming actual people. So,
I mean, we're talking about America here, folks.
well, not even
It will
America.
eventually lead to hurting people.
Well,
Look, it's going to simulate explosives. It's not actually going to be used to drop explosives.
Until a
but it'll be
senile old man presses the big shiny red button, then that simulation becomes an actuality.
It's going to be the derivative, right? Like you'll design it in Unity. You'll see the nice shiny explosion. You'll go manufacture it, and then you'd be like, produced by Unity. And you can stamp that on the side of your munition.
You see Stark on the side of the freaking missile.
Oh no!
Missile made in Unity.
It's because they can't.
Funny.
That's only because they can't get rid of the watermark.
Yeah,
Yes.
and we're gonna start seeing sponsorship.
Oh God!
Oh no, GAU
This missile
powered by Unity.
This missile brought to you by Craft Singles.
The whole thing brings us to. I mean, we're talking about the military here. Oh no, we promised not to kill people. It's literally what you're taught to do. Like this is the first thing before you go off and do your job. Get in shape.
Metal bar that way. Shoot pew pew in them. That's
Right.
what you're taught.
A little in face
can
enemy.
confirm.
So it just makes no sense. But yeah, so Unity, AppLovin, Iron Source, got it right, and partnerships with China. Like I'm really excited for the Chinese people to actually have a localized version of the engine that they can work with to help game development out. But the problem with that, according to our last podcast, it doesn't matter because they can only approve so many games at a time.
With a fine tooth, razor sharp comb.
Oh yeah, and this is on top of depending on the difficulty. I mean, you submit an RPG, that is just. You have to submit all of the dialogue, menus, and everything. Anything that's written text. No English whatsoever. All has to be in simplified Mandarin. And they have to go through all of that as well as look at all the images and play your game. Ugh. I wonder if they make them wear the porn hats.
Oh no. We going back to the porn hats? No.
There we go.
Bunch of dickheads.
First podcast ever, story arc. There we go. This is where we land.
God damn it.
Full
I thought we were done
circle,
with those.
They will never be done. They exist. They will never be over. It will always be a topic on this damn show.
Oh god. No.
I still imagine a tinfoil hat on somebody detecting porn, like it starts sparking or something.
Only when they, as he said, only when they start imagining furry porn. That's when it starts sparking. They don't know how to compute.
So
brings up pictures of refueling ports on airplanes. Here comes the fuel OO.
fuel.
Yeah.
JetBlue senpai.
No, I'm legit serious. There was a whole Reddit thread on that. People when you open up the fueling ports on aircraft, people like to write shit. And there's a whole bunch of airplanes that people have written OO and some phrase to go with it on a bunch of them. here comes like, oh, it's just all over. Go fuel yourself. I do enjoy that one.
Yes.
But I will. I'll put up the horrendously large photo in Discord for you to be terrified by. It's
Oh
just
God.
not right.
Brace yourselves.
It's just not right. In general.
All right, let's see what it is. Let's see if I'm actually have to share this thing. Oh wow.
And the
Oh,
Nord
yeah.
has left the chat.
Yep. I'll post a link to it in the podcast chat so everyone else can be terrified by this. There you go. Whoa,
Here comes the fuel. It will.
Just no.
God.
So,
Oh.
I think that pretty much wraps it up for Unity at the moment, though. I mean, it's an interesting place to be. Like, it's really confusing, but that's what's going on, and we should probably be very aware. I don't really like the idea of China and defense contracts being mixed together, but it's not uncommon. At least.
Yeah, I mean, like, most of the world gets their semiconductors from China anyways, so.
Oh yeah, no. Like, if you ever needed like a million of something in like a month, they can do it.
It'll break in 30 days to an hour.
But at least you'll
But
have
you'll have
them.
one, yes.
Well, I
It's
don't
like
know.
all of my clothing from Shein.
Oh no.
Oh God,
man.
don't get me started. That's the only place my wife is getting clothes these days. Freaking Shein.
Oh, no.
Hey, it fits her. It looks amazing on her. And then she bought me some stuff to use for our trip to Orlando. And they don't size guys the same way they size girls. It's a little small, a little snug on the pack. You know, just no.
Oh, Orlando, huh?
Yeah.
Are you coming in November?
No, we went a few weeks ago.
Oh,
We went to Legoland.
Nice.
Very
hey, at least
nice.
it's better than Peppa Pigland.
Oh,
I passed by that and I was looking around because he plays that damn piggy game on Roblox. I was expecting to see somebody dead in that park. I'm not even joking.
Wait, there's a Peppa Pig
A
theme
pep-
park?
Oh, we won't talk
Yes.
about that. I've actually seen like in-store thing in the same building as Legoland, and it is terrifying. Like, it's
It-
devoid of anything. Maybe some benches, some chairs, and kids having fun doing nothing.
Nothing. Like I walked by and I heard the music and I was already just like,
All
Hey,
right. Well, you.
Legoland's like 15 minutes away from me.
oh, awesome.
I'm not allowed to go there because I will try and buy all the inventory.
And there is
And-
a lot.
Well, are you a Lego fan?
Yeah, I'm a huge Lego fan. I love Lego Technics. I would love to get the Death Star. The problem is it's $1,000,
I'm gonna start small.
and the Millennium Falcon's $900.
We
And you
did-
know what happened at the Death Star? As soon as the kids get a hold of it, boom.
Yep.
Soccer ball.
Think of all the so
That's what happened here. We did a TIE fighter. Gorgeous.
There-
It was so much fun making that thing. It took my child 5 minutes.
Nice. So I'm going to steal a line from Clerks because it's very relevant. It is very accurate. Death Star 1, everybody on there is military or military contractor. If they sign up for that, they understand the risks of being in a giant space death laser. So when they blew up, yeah, okay. Now, with the second Death Star, it was still under construction. So think of all the contractors who may or may not have had a say in their current employment. And these terrorists came by and blew it all up, killing innocent contractors. What the fuck? I mean, you'd have tradespeople, you'd have construction engineers, like everything. And they just wasted the place. What the hell?
Professional, what's the word? Professional courtesy?
Yes, professional courtesy. I'd like to blow up your work site today with you in it.
Yep.
Jeez.
Workman's comp. Out the wazoo. Let's go.
Oh, Jesus. How do you give workers' compensation to, like, dust?
Oh, they give credits to somebody. They'll get the credits eventually. Or this goes right back into the empire and it just,
Speaking
Like-
of credits, NFTs.
Oh, God. Pop
Oh,
smoke.
yeah. So just to level the playing field here, I'm not going to make any assumptions anybody knows what that is. They just know they exist and they know that they're bad. So let's get a round table going real quick. Do you know what an NFT is?
It is
Vaguely.
the owning a receipt for something you don't own.
That's basically what I've gathered. It's paying. It's a
You're paying for a receipt for a product or thing you just do not own.
in
And it's the
theory,
dumbest concept.
it was the same. It was supposed to be like the next level of cryptocurrency, what it was supposed to be, but it's just no. It's the way it was delivered and effective is not nearly as good as it should be. Like anybody, like, oh, you own a receipt to this picture. I own a keyboard that has print screen.
Yeah.
So
So it's like
no,
Redbox Simulator. It's like you can rent this movie, but you cannot, buy it unless you actually do buy it, but it's still not yours.
to be fair, that's what the entire Steam library is for us as well. We bought the ability to play the game, but do we actually own a physical copy of the game? No.
You
Look
don't own
at
a physical copy, but you do own it for life. And Steam did get in shit for that a few years ago, where they were pulling titles out of people's accounts. Like I know a few of the games I used to play, they went under, and Steam pulled them from my account. When people started figuring that out and got pissed off enough, Steam was like, "Okay, well, you can have all your stuff back, even though it doesn't work." Because in our case, for Steam, we own that product. Even if the game services no longer work, we still own it, so we're still allowed to have it on our accounts.
It's kind of like Facebook with the Oculus, and then somehow you lose access to your Facebook profile by suspension, and then you can't use your Oculus anymore.
Wait, what?
That's for real?
That's okay. But let's suspend our NFT conversation. Tell me
Sorry.
Yeah,
about
hold up.
that.
Yeah, that's
What in the
what?
shit?
Yeah.
Oh
So
my god.
because you can't log into your own account, the Oculus is now just a paperweight.
Yeah, if you're connected to Facebook on your Oculus, I think pretty much, unless you've talked to Oculus about it.
My,
Oh my
I think I have smoke coming out of my ears because I can't comprehend that. Like what?
Yeah, I don't know.
There's an entire thread or story on Android Central for what to do if your Quest 2's Facebook account gets banned. What in the
I mean,
shit?
actually, to be fair, I actually can understand that the wheels got greased up, and I remember something back in to our original point in Steam. For a few games early on in Steam's livelihood, you can only play the game if you logged into Windows for Games Live. One of the big ones was Bulletstorm. I got the game and it was always in my inventory. I just never got around to play it. Well, Windows Lives went the way of Old Yeller. You can no longer log into that. So now I cannot ever play Bulletstorm on Steam because of that situation. So I see why it freezes up the Oculus, but we're in 2022, people.
I bel
How are you going to deactivate an entire thing that you're basically making a lot of money off of by linking
So
it to your Facebook account?
if you want to throw money at
apparently,
it, you could always buy the remastered version. It shouldn't be attached to games for Windows Live. They didn't go this route of Dark Souls. Where like, you know what, you don't need this anymore. They just nope.
so when Facebook started that whole thing, that was October 2020, and they've announced recently that they're changing that requirement where you don't need your Facebook account linked to it. Starting in August of this year, you won't have to use it, but until August of this year, so right now, you still need it. So it should be in the next few days where they terminate that requirement. But yeah, for 2 years, you had to have a Facebook account to use your Oculus.
Yeah,
Like what in the shit?
yeah. Bomb in the chat is talking about that right now. Wow.
Yeah.
Nope. Nope.
And that's why I will never buy an Oculus, just because it's Facebook controlled, and screw Facebook.
Yeah, I bought their V1. I kind of want their V2 just because I want to do VR without having the Matrix head tubes coming off my head.
I'd rather get the Steam setup, honestly. If I was going
Yeah.
to get one, I would do it that way instead.
The HTC Vive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
the
not
one-
the HTC, but the Steam product, whatever that one is.
Steam Valve or whatever it is.
The Valve thingy.
Yeah, that'd be the way I go. The last one we got it for the PlayStation 4, and for what it was worth, that it was a pretty decent system. But I'm 6'3". That little camera they have that try to keep you within a certain window to play the game never worked for me. I had to play either sitting down or on my knees half the time.
Valve Index. That's the words I'm looking for.
Ah.
See, I would get that over an Oculus any day of the week if I really wanted something. Just because, the aforementioned screw Facebook.
Yeah.
Screw Facebook.
Sorry, Jaime.
Speaking of screw Facebook, so NFTs.
Back to Rabbit chased. Back on track. Let's go.
So to put it simply, I was speaking with the folks at work. Some of them are software engineers, some of them are support engineers. It really just depends on how you look at it. But if you really relate to it, what it is that you're purchasing a spot in a database that in your row, like you're right there in the row, has a pointer to another object. So what they're selling is the pointer. That's it.
Yeah.
They found a way to sell nothing, and the NFT folks are like, oh, it's worth money, and you can make money, play to earn. Like the biggest thing that the gaming industry is throwing around is play to earn. That's ridiculous.
I mean, there was a few
Yeah.
games when crypto first came out that were that way.
Well, there is an NFT MMORPG called Big Time. So, play to earn.
Ugh. Well,
Part of me
Just-
died inside hearing that.
well, I mean, if it was treated more like trading cards, maybe. Like, okay, so if the Pokemon Company wanted to have digital copies of their cards and they wanted to put an asset tag on it and burn up whatever crypto that they want and have their own blockchain and make, I don't know, serializing really complicated, they could totally do that. Because at that point, you could sell virtual cards and create rarity because you can only have so many for use in their game. So anytime that your account comes up, it points to a pointer to a card, and there you go. It's always on your account. And that makes the most sense for that use.
I think they already do a similar thing. That they don't label it NFTs. The only reason why I'm mentioning that is we just got finished recording another episode of the Ditto Hunt here for the Nord family, and there's one of the codes in front of me. You can actually go online for like you type in the code and a digital card comes up to play the online version of the trading card game.
Yeah, as far as I know, that's a traditional system where it doesn't
Mhm.
require gas fees and transactions and other things other than talking to the Pokemon Company or whatever's division that actually handles that
Mhm.
and assigns it to your Pokemon account, whatever that may be.
Correct.
So it's instead of like, yeah, we've minted NFTs of this stuff, and now we have to create a transaction which a group of computers has to verify and write to the blockchain and so forth and so on. It's ugh.
But to be fair, if any company is going to go out of their way and probably do that, I wouldn't put it past Nintendo to do so.
So in the scope of what an NFT is, it's pretty much the pointer. Right.
I'm waiting
If
for
you-
World of Warcraft and Neopets NFTs.
No.
Neopets is on the
Neo
way,
Stop
Pets.
playing again.
but Neopets was also in the news for a huge breach.
Yes, they
I
were.
remember that.
Yeah. So I don't trust anything with Neopets. I mean, they've been around since, I think, before the internet. I want to say before the internet because
Yep.
they've been around for a long time.
They've been around for a long ass time. I have so many pets starving right now, waiting for an omelet that they're never going to get.
Oh, yeah. I didn't, I saw that.
Die.
What was interesting about that is that was a live hack. So even if you freaked out, I was like, oh no, Neopets is hacked. I haven't used this in 10 years. I need to go change my password. It was a live hack. So the moment you changed the password, it was updated in the database. They had live access to the database. So it didn't matter.
Yeah.
Ha, joke's on you. I don't even remember the email that I used for that. So I can't log in anyway. Take that, hackers.
So the reason why the whole pointer conversation is important is that GameStop is doing an NFT marketplace currently in beta, and they have select creators that actually have permission to go and create assets and mint NFTs to be sold. And I honestly think that this is pretty cool, but again, you're buying a pointer. A Nathan Ello released NFT. He minted an NFT of software, which was interesting. Nifty Arcade Collection, which was subsequently taken down from the marketplace, because what he did was he went out and tried to find all of the Creative Commons games that you could use commercially, pack them into one and sell them off, pack them into something called the Nifty Arcade Collection. So you could go play these games from your wallet, which I don't understand, because every one of these games are available on itch.io and for free everywhere else. But should
GOG
you
and Web Archive.
Yeah. So should you want to, I don't know, make crypto useful?
It hurts my brains.
I can just visualize a boomer looking at their wallet like, wallet, load Mario.
Right, and it comes down
I
to.
will go grab my wallet right now and say that. Hold on.
Yeah, there
I have
was
my wallet.
There was some.
Play Soldier Fortune 2. It's not doing anything. What do I do?
Instructions unclear.
God damn it.
Stuck in the ceiling fan again, I see.
Oh, gross.
So why anybody would want that functionality is beyond me. But GameStop took it down. This guy went through and he actually posted to some other NFT sites. So it's a thing you can do. It doesn't make any sense. I mean, people will buy it. People buy monkeys. Pictures of monkeys. And they're not even buying the picture. They're buying the pointer to the picture.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. For a little bit of clarity, if you are unfamiliar with what a pointer would be, if you've ever like right-clicked a web page and gone to like view source, at the very top you'll see a section that says like in carrots head and then slash head. It's that section basically is what you're buying. That text of bullshit is all you're buying.
Yup.
It's like, I'm buying text.
And what the artist of these JPEGs? How do they get paid in this situation? They just get.
That's the fun part.
Well,
they don't.
It's actually built into the NFT, and it's at time of minting. If that NFT were to ever be sold off after the original buyer, there is a commission fee that actually gets sent back to the owner. So think of it kind of like a multi-level marketing scheme. Oh, I'm sorry.
And
It's
right there,
pyramid
you lost me. You lost me right there. I'm done.
Pyramid.
Oh no,
Yeah,
no,
with
no, no! It's
cryptocurrency.
not pyramid. It's reverse funnel.
Shut up. It's a pyramid scheme.
Don't come here with your reverse logic, sir. No, we will not be having that tonight.
Yeah, and
Just remember, it's all fun and games until Bitcoin crashes.
I know, and then
True.
people cry, and I love it.
that's the whole shtick about it too, because NFTs are literally worth nothing. They're worth dick. They're only worth as much as someone says it is. And if the whole world believes that you have $1 million NFT, by gosh, if somebody has $1 million, they can buy it from you at that price. Right?
You know what that reminds me of?
My dog.
Is it
won't shut
reminds
up.
me of how orcs work in Warhammer 40k.
Oh,
They just imagine things and it happens. So they can imagine that the rock they're sitting on can actually fly, and they will be on a flying rock. There is one, I think it's a book. Yeah, it's one book where apparently some guardsmen ran out of ammo, so they started yelling bang, and the orcs thought they were dying, so they started actually dying to people saying bang. That's NFTs. I think it's worth this much.
That was called,
It is.
that made much more sense to me than the damn NFT itself.
my buddy.
I hear bang bang. Ooh.
They fucking died.
My buddy showed me a video. It was like 7 parts long, and it was like all shorts or stories or whatnot talking about the orcs that were invented by space frog people to psychic space frog people to fight robots, which was interesting. But he's right. Whatever they believe, it will happen. Do you ever wonder why space marines are blue? Because the orcs believe blue is lucky, and so that's why
Well, that's
Space
just the
Marines
ultra.
always win.
That's the ultra Smurfs, and we don't care about them.
Oh.
And that's how the Janai came to be.
There you go.
Yes, the space goats.
The true space goats.
Yeah, the most interesting one out of that entire story was so there's this warp technology that surrounds most ships, all ships, going to travel because you have to punch a hole in space in order to get from point A to point B. And while you're traveling through that hole, it's literally hell. Demons, the whole thing. And this shield is supposed to protect you. The orcs don't have that. They have.
Yep. They just traverse it.
They have. They
have the power of friendship.
And
So-
littering.
Oh,
Yeah,
no,
and littering.
it gets better because they have their ships are made of wood, and
Yup.
that's it. It's powered by imagination, dude. They have windows that you can
The
roll
Care
down.
Bears.
They have windows you can roll down in the spaceship. Mind you, you can't breathe in space, but because the orcs are so dumb and don't realize it, it doesn't matter. So they believe they can breathe in space.
No, they're 200 IQ.
I just like
man.
how-
they're too smart.
I just like how we're bastardizing Warhammer 40k lore, and some turbo for 40k nerd is just gonna get super pissed, and I'm going to enjoy their cringe.
Oh, good.
Posting. It's
Welcome
great.
to
Excellent.
welcome to the show, potential troll. So.
The salamanders can keep burning. Nobody cares about them.
The thing that was interesting about that, though, is that while all of the races fear going through hell and have that shield, they see it as in-flight entertainment.
Yup.
Fair.
Like Slaanesh is like trying to seduce them. They're like, wrong.
Ooh, that peaked. I'm gonna have to edit that later. Ow!
Sorry.
I actually listened to this at 100%. Hold on.
Never have me at 100%. That is. Oh wow! I just heard that on the stream.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
Rest in peace, earphones.
That's going to be the only place in this podcast where I will literally have to take the volume knob and turn it down and then bring it back up.
Yep.
Yeah. So, wow.
Whoa. There we go.
Limit
That's better.
tested, boys and girls.
So yeah. So the interesting thing is that they have a pointer to the games that you can buy as an NFT, and it makes no sense other than all the other garbage of him not getting the proper permissions to actually do this. Because, well, to come to think about it, if it's just a pointer to the game, he literally just sold the hyperlink. Like, so you can go to your
You know what?
wallet, figure out what you bought, and click on it, and it goes to the game.
That entire concept of an NFT video game is as dumb as playing games in Microsoft Excel.
Well, they're trying.
There we go. I've been waiting for this one.
Which brings us to the esports conversation. Oh,
Why Microsoft? Why?
so why
Before we get into this topic, please tell me is this article that you had us read for this? Is it satire or is this legit?
That's legit.
It's legit. No, like here.
So
You could-
are you
someone
telling
put-
me you're telling me ESPN the Ocho exists?
Yes.
Not only that, people have made Doom in Microsoft Excel.
That
Yeah.
I knew about.
Yeah.
That I knew about.
So on that note, before we give away two more, yes, there is an esports competition by the FMWC that yes, you are pitted against other spreadsheet savants to accomplish a goal. You were like, oh wow, okay, yeah, no, I know how to sum and whatnot. No, they are doing full-fledged game dev in Excel.
Well, it's financial records is what they were doing. It was who can complete the financial bullshittery on these things the fastest. And one of the people
did
in
we read the
chat,
same
Bomb
article?
Redeemer. Or was I reading a different one? Bomb Redeemer would love that sort of thing because he likes spreadsheets. He is very strange.
I haven't used one since high school. That was a million years ago.
I'm trying to comprehend the fact that I feel like I'm living in the movie Dodgeball now, just because of the whole ESPN the Ocho thing. I'm stuck on that for some reason. I'm reading here a leading financial model competition for everyone interested in finance was shown as part of ESPN's The Ocho on August 4th, a 24-hour celebration of weird sports, including corgi racing, axe
Yes.
throwing, and stone skipping.
Okay, 2 of those 3 I like.
Just duh.
No,
So-
Excel does not go berserk.
So here's
My
what
brain not going burr right now.
Here's what they did. Over 3 rounds, the competitors were given extremely complicated tasks to accomplish on their spreadsheets with a 30-minute time limit. Half the contestants were eliminated in each round. Appropriately enough, each round a case study problem involving different game of some sorts. In one round, 8 cyber athletes are challenged to create a slot machine game with 8 different symbols and a complicated point scoring system. Round 2 is a yacht regatta game with a complex wind speed and directional simulation. And round 3 is a platformer with 6 different levels. Yes, these games are all being created in spreadsheets.
I mean,
I'm
more
out.
power to all of you. You win. I don't care who came in last. You win. Like that's impressive to me. Like you turned Excel into a game dev thingy for a competition. Kudos, but my caveman brain cannot even comprehend that could be a thing that could happen.
Oh yeah,
God.
well, the commentary was done by the folks who've written books for Excel, like Excel Inside, Excel on Fire, and Bill Jelen, Mr. Excel, was one of the commentators, for it, and they would say stuff like, "Oh no, the F1 key, the dreaded F1 key, right there next to F2, you accidentally pressed help, and it pops up the help argument. Certainly, no one here is going to press help on purpose." Just in the best commentator voice that I could possibly give, like.
My heart, it can't
So
take this.
I'm skipping through the video, and it is certainly a video. Holy shit! It is just wild. Because they're using Excel as you would normally use Excel, but then they're using the formula sections to do all kinds of other weird shit. And god damn it, no.
Hey, Lumi,
Yes.
if they ever do a Microsoft NFT movie, can you be the voice of Clippy?
Oh Jesus Christ, I'll kill you.
I will fund this. I will help fund this. Yes, absolutely.
Hold on, I gotta do this officially. Thank you for your feedback. I will forward your feedback to the appropriate parties for further review. Thank you.
Anything
No.
else I can help you with?
No.
Yes.
Just no.
Yes, yeah, this has to happen now. Next
God.
week we're gonna replace Lumi's icon here with Helpy,
Oh, yeah,
just
yeah.
for the sake of visual.
No.
Just start off with the epic, thriller music, or action movie, da, 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 and you just see the paperclip come out with the eyeballs blinking. It makes the blinking noise, and it's just me going, "Hi, how can I help? I see that you're writing an email," and it goes this whole action scene. Yeah, that would be great.
Oh my god, no. That's horrifying. That's a
There you
horror
go.
movie at that point.
There you go, boys, in the general chat. There you go.
Oh no.
So esports, Excel, NFTs are garbage still. Just
And Unity wins.
and Unity wins. I don't understand why folks would want to burn already imaginary money. I mean, mind you, backed by real money, and turn it into not backed by anything and based on the value that you say it is.
Because apparently NFTs are orcs and people have way too much money to spend. I will take donations.
There you go.
If you don't want your money, I will happily take it.
Only buy the blue NFTs.
Only the blue ones.
Just give me your money. I have a PayPal. Send me money. I'll spare you buying the NFTs.
There you go. If you don't like money, we'll take it. You don't have to go buy money
Exactly.
pictures.
My case can hold at least 2 more video cards. Just saying.
I need a brand new setup, so let's just go.
Like 3090s.
Oh my goodness. Hi there. It looks like you're trying to be funny. Would you like me to launch Grammarly for you?
Oh, Jesus Christ, no.
Oh, God.
Sir, that was rude.
No, it was just, yeah. It was crit chicken in there. Wow. Oh, this was a fun episode. I'm absolutely loving this.
Bruh.
Yeah, so it's all right. We've got 10 minutes before the end of this thing, and I'm not going to say we ran out of steam. We could totally sit here and talk and whatnot. Let's just go ahead and get our roundtable all the way and call it an early night tonight. Because, I mean, aside from Unity and all the stuff going on with that, I'm real concerned about the military stuff myself. Because anything involving the military is, yeah, don't look at what the look at my right hand, don't look at the left hand. Like it's
Right.
yeah.
In the situation, the right hand's jerking off with U.S. and the left hand shaking hands with China. So it's just
Yeah, that's a whole different story and a whole different podcast.
Yeah, and it's a sticky situation for all.
Aha! Zing!
Boo.
Ba-dum-bum-bum-bum.
So, and Excel Esports. I didn't get around to watching that video. I was more curious about what they were doing, and I immediately got the nerd boner going. Oh my god, they're doing game dev and Visual Basic and Excel formulas. I'm in. So I need to watch that.
It doesn't even look like they use the Visual Basic component. It looks like they're just doing cell like formulas.
Really?
Yeah. Like it is just horrifyingly painful to watch. I would rather watch paint dry than watch them like do all the math involved in everything. Like so if AS13 is greater or equal to 1 oh, that's comparison. Yeah, like it's an if comparison statement against AP13, and then if in brackets AS13 equals 2, the minimum of another bracket. Yeah, it's just like why? I was told there'd be no math. Please stop. It's all math arguments is what they're doing, and it's just like oh, and they have I didn't even notice this. They have an APM they have an APM map on the top of the fucking screen, so you can see how many APMs they have going. APM for you non-StarCraft nerds is a
actions per minute. Oh.
Oh god, why?
I have to watch it now. It sounds ridiculous enough for me to be like, it's a Lumi thing.
It's like we always said in episode 1, we don't kink shame here. If that's what you're into, go get it, my friend.
That's right. That's right. No
Very
kink shaming here.
Nope.
So that brings us to Roundtable. Cajun, tell us about you. Give us your socials and what's going on.
I'm the Nordic Cajun across all platforms: TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, the whole 9 yards. I'm still banging out some content on YouTube, working on other things, and I did have a funny story I wanted to throw out there if you don't mind me.
Okay. So we need to have Amy put in some like fancy reading rainbow type music, so that way when Cajun leads into this, it's like doodle sprinkles and whatnot. Story time with Cajun. You know, let's do it.
Ooh.
Go ahead.
It's a story that I've been wanting to tell like in a public forum for a long time now. And I was like, you know what? I actually have one now, so let's have some fun tonight.
All right, let's do it.
You guys know that I'm in the middle of writing a book. It's a vampire-based themed book. And me going over that, it reminded me of something that happened way back in the before years. Prior to getting involved with computer work and then eventually into the medical field where I am now, I was actually a children's pastor at my church, and I helped with the children's stuff, and I did a lot of their video editing and graphic design for their Sunday worship and all that good stuff. But that didn't stop me from still loving the aspect of the vampire, because this is circa 2012, 13 when the Sparkly Princess vampire show came out for the movies. And it was the golden age of the vampire lore, as it were. The missus and I were huge True Blood fans. It was our bread and butter when it came to the vampire backstory and the Sookie Stackhouse books and everything. We were into it. And they had a convention in Florida called Icon, and we did everything in our power to get there. And we took time off of work and we went out there and we had a grand time. We got to meet some of the stars from the show, shake hands with them, all the things you do when you go to a convention. I get back to work and I'm doing my thing in the editing room, and I get a phone call from the boss, like the head pastor of the church. He says, "Hey, in about 30 minutes, my wife is coming down to talk to you." That meant one of two things. One, I stepped in some deep shit and I didn't know what I did, or she was about to volunteer me for something that I didn't want to do. There was no in between. So I'm sitting there racking my brain. I was like, I haven't been here in a week. What did I do before I left? What did I do before I left? I'm sweating bullets at this point. She comes down and we start having a conversation. She asks how the trip went. Basically, chitter chatter between boss's wife and incel that worked there. And she took a deep breath and she says, "Okay, I have to personally ask you this question because you work with our children, you work with the kids here, and you tend to wear a lot of dark clothing here at the church, which I was over 300 pounds, dark as Slimming, get off my back. Um, she looked me square in my eyes and she asked, "Do you and your wife partake in vampirism?"
It's
At
a
a
very
church.
direct
At a
question.
church. It's
Like,
like, is this guy, does he know? Is he in? Is he with everyone else? Should I ask him? I don't know. Let's ask him. Hey,
like
so
this.
are you a mosquito?
If I
Like,
was, would I step inside of a church?
Well, it was just, my mindset at the time was like it's like, I play a lot of video games and Mario happened to be my favorite game of all time. Would that make me an Italian plumber? It's like Evil Knievel cannot make that jump the way she jumped, and of course I said no because come on, that's stupid. It's a fantasy show. We watched it, we enjoy it, and she got the answer she wanted. Everything was fine and dandy. I got home that night. I was like, babe, you're not gonna believe the kind of day I had. She walked over to the fridge and popped open a fresh thing of a O negative form and handed it to me. It's like, babe, tell me all about
Well played, sir. Well played.
it.
nice.
Story time over. Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba-ba.
Up.
All right.
Yes.
Yes.
You get admin point.
I take it. I take it.
All right, Ivy, what have you got going on?
You can find me on Twitter at twitter.com/Amy21. I am, per usual, ship posting on there, which is all kinds of fun. Also, I am back into WoW thanks to Crit Chicken. It's all her fault. And
She's
we're
slowly
currently...
corrupting all of them.
Yay, I'm
Oh,
irresponsible.
Yay! She got me back into WoW retail, and she's now introduced me to Classic, and holy shit, Classic is weird. I never played Classic. I started in Warlord to Trainer, so this is just a
You
very...
missed a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, you should have seen him. I have to spend gold on abilities.
Yeah, I was like, what
Yeah.
the fuck is this? So I'm back into WoW, and that's about it.
Imagine this. Your abilities are now an NFT.
No.
I'm
Nope, 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 nope.
I threw up a little in my mouth.
What's wrong? Wrong sound. That's the one I wanted. Not,
There you go.
not the
Sorry,
long burp.
proceed.
So, more WoW, awesome. Crit Chicken, tell us what's going on with you. What content ideas are you coming up with, and what have you been doing?
I am still trying to figure that out. But
None
you
of
can
it.
find me on Needs Espresso. I'm usually BSing with Imi a lot and staying out of trouble. Haha, I should say.
Twitter PvP is fun.
Yeah.
Well,
Anybody who's ever played on Emerald Dream on WoW will understand what that means. It's fantastic.
awesome. You go and follow all their channels and all their deets. All the details should be down below as well as mine. So what am I going to be doing? Well, I'm actually close to affiliate by by actual
Fancy.
average users. I think that's just us, but you know what? It has to be 3, so whatever.
We got that in spades, dog.
Yeah, at least.
A spade.
Other than that, lots of average watch hours, possibly because we're here the entire time. But besides that, my plans is to play some more WoW myself, get my, what are they called? Covenant, to where they need to go. I'm part of the crazy tree people. Yes. Of Ardenweald.
Okay.
And, of course, work on this wonderful podcast, which I will have sliced and rendered and put up to both anchor.fm/UDP Broadcast and my YouTube channel at youtube.com/Luminary Weekly. That's what's going on with me.
The legend himself.
Fantastic.
Indeed. Yep. Other than that, I've got nothing else to add. Anybody from chat have any questions?
I think Bomb has gone to go drool over the spreadsheets. I think we've lost him.
If he came out of this podcast with something awesome, then we've done our job.
We did our duty tonight. That is
That's
correct.
right.
He's going to look at that video and he's going to go to Google Sheets and try and figure out how to import it all into Google Sheets. This is a guy who has, I don't know if he's still working for that, but he did work for a race car team at one point, and he had a spreadsheet for every track, every weather condition, every tire, everything. And yeah, it was just, he showed me one night and I was like, no. Oh yeah, he still works for them. Yeah, just no, it was just too many numbers and too much math.
Too much math.
Math is a lie.
Yes.
Well, I'm a registered math offender, so.
We don't hold that against you, though.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a dumb joke. Yeah.
I guess you can call yourself a mathematic addict. I don't know. Whatever.
Math addict.
Yes.
Wah,
Yes.
wah, wah.
I knew what you were trying to
tried.
say. I knew it. It was there. Just the delivery
Like,
just stumbled a little bit. Okay.
Just keep going. Just keep. Ah.
Oh, math? What are you talking about? Math in parentheses? Yes, math in parentheses.
Yes.
Please. Okay,
I will have a sad trombone sound for next week.
please
Wah,
do.
wah.
Use it liberally all throughout the podcast. And for no
My
reason
joke
at
was
all.
like algebra. It was missing the
More like algebra.
bruh.
Bruh.
I hate you.
There it is. Sad
There we go.
I'm me on the soundboard. Okay.
Yep.
Well, that brings us to the end. Have fun, and we'll see you in the next one. Goodbye, everyone.
So long, everyone.
I'm going to start my cult. Bye.
Bye.